Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the only referral podcast where you can get real stories of real people getting real referrals. Every week, we share inspiring stories and practical tips from people like you to take your repeat and referral business to the next level. I invite you to join our free private Facebook group. Go to joingengen.com. That's joingengen.com, and we'll add you to our referral group. I'm your host, Michael J. Maher, and I'm so excited to share today's episode with you. So let's get started. Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. And today we are going to continue our Triangle of Trust series, where we are helping you get introductions, connections, and referrals so that you can blow your business up the rest of this year. We are setting records in Referco. Our clients are setting records. Many of them are becoming number one in the office for the first time of their career. And some of those careers are 20 and 30 years long. And today, to help me out, once again, is our fearless COO and my lovely wife. And also, with Mother's Day just coming by, one of the best mothers in the world, it is Sheri L. Maher. Sheri, welcome to Referrals Podcast.
Hello again.
Producer, engineer, extraordinaire of Referrals Podcast. I appreciate you being here. So what do we want to talk about today?
I thought we would just get started with, tell us the story of how you got Dave Ramsey to endorse the book.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So 7L, the 7 levels of communication, go from relationships to referrals, is endorsed by Dave Ramsey. For those of you that don't know, Dave Ramsey doesn't endorse books. He's only endorsed like 4 books in his whole life. And so what's interesting is I didn't know that he didn't endorse books until I actually got the endorsement and people were telling me, oh my gosh, Dave Ramsey endorsed your book? He doesn't endorse books. He talks about that all the time. So first of all, it's a blessing to have Dave Ramsey endorse the book. And he said, basically he just talked about if you want to be a success, you'll read 7L. And it's a very powerful endorsement. And I do believe that it's helped sell many copies of 7L. So how did I get Dave Ramsey's endorsement? Here's what happened. So back in the Star Power Star days, Howard Brinton ran a show called the Star Power, and it was like 2010, 2011, so right after the downturn. And Dave Ramsey was starting his ELP program for realtors, which is endorsed local providers. And he had a manager come to the Star Power event, and he was looking for realtors to get started in this endorsed local provider. So these would be Dave Ramsey endorsed realtors that he could talk about at his site. He would refer people to you and you would pay him a referral fee, right? So like, how do you have a really good referral source named Dave Ramsey? Well, you've got this program and he's got this program in place. Well, he didn't at the time, so he was looking to grow it. Well, you got to realize in 2010, 2011, agents were looking for any way to get business possible. And honestly, that kind of continues to this day. So there were like 250 people trying to talk to Heath, which Heath was the Dave Ramsey representative. I mean, literally, agents are throwing their card in his lap. Like not even like, I mean, it was I don't know what to call it. It was like a bloodbath. It was like what when the sharks eat, what do they call that? A frenzy, yeah. Right? It literally was a shark frenzy. And so I'm standing there going, how do you compete with a feeding frenzy? How do you compete with this type of scenario? Well, I knew Stephanie Evelo, and Stephanie Evelo knew Heath. So instead of going direct to Dave Ramsey's representative, I actually went to Stephanie and said, Stephanie, Heath is super busy right now. It's crazy. He's got 300, 400 people in line throwing cards at him, trying to get information on this program. When you have a moment, would you do me a favor and introduce me to Heath? Now, for those of you that know Stephanie Evelo, you know how she is. She's one of the most awesome people in the world. So she said she grabbed my hand, literally grabbed my hand, and she took me over there around his table and in front of the 400 others, she basically turned Heath around to face me at the side of the table and said, Heath, this is Michael Maher. This is one of the guys you've got to meet for this program, and you guys should talk about it. And so Heath is like looking at the 400 and looking at me. He goes, oh my gosh, Stephanie, thank you so much. And Michael, it's so great to meet you. As you can tell, it's a little crazy, but I would love to get your information and talk to you. And I go, man, I know you're super busy. I really appreciate it. I appreciate Stephanie for introducing me, and would love to talk to you more about your program. And that was it, right? So I went over here and I kind of went about my business. Well, 3 hours later, I get a text message, and the text message says, hey, listen, Heath and some of the Dave Ramsey people are going to dinner. Do you want to go to dinner? All right. Well, that was a pretty easy yes. So I said yes. Well, that night, Stephanie sat me right next to Heath, and that night I got to build a relationship with this manager at Dave Ramsey, and I did. I truly built a relationship. I found out about his family. I found out about his vision, what he wanted to do with the program, his background. I found out so much great information about that, and he was a great guy, so it really helped the conversation. And so, why did that relationship start off so well? Because Stephanie introduced me. The triangle of trust was established. He trusted Stephanie's word, and so guess what? He instantly had a little bit of trust of me or for me already, and all I did was build the trust by not being selfish, not being self serving, not throwing my card in, not taking, but entirely just being human and being generous and talking to him and doing frog and that kind of conversation and talking to him. Well, fast forward 6 months, we're in the ELP program, and I'm telling you, we're giving them feedback to change the program every few weeks because it was a new program. It had a lot of glitches. But guess what? They started working them out. 6 months forward, my book is done, and I send it to Heath, and I go, hey, listen, I know this might be next to impossible, but could you get this on Dave's desk and ask him to endorse this book? We already have endorsements of Bob Berg, Gary Keller, and Todd Duncan, and a few others that are really, really kind of famous in the world, and would love to have Dave's, feedback. Well, not only did he put it on the desk, he sat it on his desk, and he said, you got to read this book. And Dave Ramsey actually read 7L. He gave me 12 to 14 things I needed to change in the book, little things. And by the way, when a guy like that tells you to change some things, you change them. And then he gave me this glowing, beautiful endorsement that is actually on the top of the front cover of every single one of my books. And if you want to win in business, this book, 7L, will show you how. And that's his quote. And that's how I got the endorsement, was actually through the Triangle of Trust. So that's a really good question for this Triangle of Trust series. But look at how I got the endorsement. I also got the endorsement through the Triangle of Trust. He trusted Heath, and then Heath trusted me, so he connected me to Dave. And future sense, I got the chance to have dinner with Dave. I got the chance to meet Dave and his wife and his daughter and have the opportunity to somewhat build. I don't want to sit here and say that I have this great relationship with Dave Ramsey, but I had the opportunity to meet him and get an endorsement from him because of Heath's trusting me and setting up that introduction. So great story, and it just shows the power of the Triangle of Trust. Instead of going direct to Dave or direct to Heath, I might have got shut down. At the very least, I would have had to go through this long process of building the relationship. The Triangle of Trust made everything faster. We always think direct is faster, but in the relationship game, in the referral game, indirect is a lot of times faster.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it it seems like a lot of our clients are having success right now in networking. So how, how can we use the triangle of trust in networking?
Yeah, so I'm telling you, networking is the game. This summer, this fall, right now, what has happened is the world has opened up. 2020 was locked down. 2021 was pretty much locked down. 2022 was a little bit less. 2023 is it's kind of, people are uncaged and ready to engage. Whereas before they were caged and enraged, right? I mean, that's what happened. The country got super divided, and it felt like a cage feeling. Well, now it's uncaged and willing to be engaged. So they're out more, they're networking more, and we are seeing a lot of success with the people who are strategizing networking. So how do we use the triangle of trust and networking is something called the 7 steps to connecting with connectors. And I'm going to go through these pretty quick because they're very simple, but you need to follow the steps in order. So the first step is get your mind right. And the first step is go with the spirit of generosity. Go with the spirit of helping. If you go to a networking event and you're looking to take, you're never going to get. Isn't that amazing? Like how often this whole thought process has to be kind of almost retrofitted to win. So the first thing is get your head right. I'm going to see how I can help this group, how I can help this person. I'm looking for people to help and refer. I'm looking for people to refer to my network. I'm looking for people I trust to refer and do a good job for the people I trust in my community. That's how I'm looking at it when I go out to start networking. Number 2, you're going to pick a group or event to attend. So you're going to pick a group or attend. So you can do a Google search. You can go to Facebook and say, hey, I'm looking to network. What are some great networking groups? Your Chamber of Commerce is a great contact. BNI can be a great contact, but a lot of times they already have certain professions. But there's a lot of open networking groups in most places. So you're going to pick a group and then you're going to call the organizer. This is actually still step number 2 is find a group and call the organizer. Membership chair, president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, membership chair, I've had a lot of success with. All right. So you're going to call the membership chair and you're going to ask a couple of questions. Number 1, are the introductions done formally or informally? A formal introduction is everybody stands up and introduces themselves. BNI has formal introduction process. Now, most networking events have an informal introduction process, which is you're on your own to get introductions, right? And that's really the one you're most looking for, just so you know. Now, you can do it either way. It doesn't matter, but it's good to know, because here's the thing. If you're going to do a formal introduction, you might want to practice before you go. Trust me on that. All right. Here is the second question on that phone call to the membership chair. Is you're going to say, "Hey, listen, I don't know a ton about your group. Who should I meet in your group that can give me a great representation of your group?" Or, you know what, I'm really looking to grow my business. I'm in growth mode. Who is somebody else in your business that's really growing or really successful that I could learn from and maybe grow with? And they're going to give you a name or two. And then, okay, listen, this is key. They give you a name or two. You go, well, who else might be good to meet? You want to get 4 or 5 names on that phone call. Got it? So you're looking to get 4 or 5 names. Now, another way that we could have called this whole 7 steps to connecting with connectors, it could be really called how an introvert networks at the highest level. I'm an introvert. Do I want to meet everybody? I go to a networking event, I'm holding the wall up. I do not want to interact. I just don't. It's going to exhaust me, and I know it is, so I'm not going to do it. But guess what? When I know I only need to meet 4 or 5 people, and it's like going at it with a scalpel and not a chain freaking saw, right? Guess what? I'm going to be more successful. And I will tell you, introverts are really successful snipers, and they're not so great with a shotgun, right? So we're going to go at this with a sniper type atmosphere, type focus. Is we're going to focus on 4 to 5 people. Now, the next thing you're going to do, which is step 3, is you're going to Google and Facebook the connectors, the people that they mention. You're going to go do some research on. Don't call it stalking. You're just going to research. And you may never say this information out of your mouth ever, but the main reason you're doing the research is so that you can recognize them when they come in, and it also helps with asking some of the questions to them. It just helps. If you know somebody's involved in sports, asking about sports can be a big time trigger for a relationship. So you're going to Google and Facebook and research the connectors, the people that they said, the membership chair. And by the way, make sure you Google the membership chair as well. Now, number 4 is you're going to be 15 to 20 minutes early. Now, if you're a social and outgoing personality, please let me repeat that. You are going to be 15 to 20 minutes early to this. Now, you got to realize nobody is there 20 minutes early. It's the craziest thing ever. It's just like if you got there 5 minutes late, there's 200 people there. 15 to 20 minutes early, there's like 5 people there, which for an introvert helps me become more comfortable. Now, the first thing you're going to do, go to the membership chair, shake their hand, and just say, I'm Michael Maher. I'm the one that called. I wanted to make sure that I introduced myself. And I just wanted to say, thank you so much for the invite. And man, already looks good. And here's the thing. How can I help? How can I help? You're going to be early and you're going to help. Now, there's always things to do before an event. If you are the 5th person helping on a 4-cornered poster to put it up, like you're just, yep, that looks right, or, oh, a little bit up on the right. Whatever it takes to help. If you're the 5th person helping on a 4-cornered table, move the table. You know where I'm going on this. Whatever it takes to help. Jump in, and if it means picking up the trash, pick up the trash. If it means whatever it is, be helpful. Now, I'm telling you right now, the membership chair is going to notice that. They're going to notice it. Now, number 5. The event starts. People are starting to come in. They're starting to mingle. When one of the connectors comes in, you're not going to go directly to the connector. What do you think you're going to do if you know the triangle of trust? You are going to go to the membership chair and you're going to say, I just noticed Cindy came in. Would you do me a favor and introduce us? And the membership chair will either say yes, or you know what, give me just 2 minutes to wrap this up and I'll do that. Most of the time I've done this, which is thousands of times, they literally stop what they're doing and they will walk you over and introduce you. And here's the thing that I have just found so incredible is they will give you the most incredible introduction ever. They will literally introduce you as a top agent in the city before you're even doing any transactions. They will introduce you to the other person as a business leader, as a pillar of the community, as someone, man, you've got to know. And they hadn't even met you other than 25 minutes before. But what do they know about you? You're proactive and you're helpful and you're professional. And that's the greatest start to a relationship ever. Now, you're going to do that until you get introduced to the 4 or 5 people, right? So, and by the way, out of 5, 3 or 4 will show up because the membership chair is going to pick people who attend. Now, you're going to meet them and you're going to focus on frog, right? So you're going to have a frog conversation with them. And then step number 7 is you are going to follow up with them appropriately, which might mean a handwritten note, might mean a follow-up text, but it should include an invitation to a one-to-one. Now, please remember, you're only doing a max of 5 one-to-ones from this event. If you had to try to think about doing this for 200, it's overwhelming. But if you know you're going to only build a great relationship with 4 or 5 and only have 4 or 5 one-to-one scheduled afterwards, it's so much less exhausting. It's so much more energizing. And I'm telling you, it's more effective. So those are the 7 steps to connecting with connectors. You're going to go with the spirit of generosity, pick an event and talk to the membership chair. Ask them 2 questions about informal or formal introduction and get 4 or 5 names. Google the names, and then you're going to be early and help, and then you're going to spot the connectors and get introduced by the membership chair. Then you're going to implement a frog first conversation, which is a conversation all about them. And then you are going to follow up with a handwritten note, maybe a text message, maybe an email, but for sure a one-to-one meeting. Could be 30 minutes, could be an hour, but your follow up to this is to have a one-to-one meeting.
Yep. And just real quick, frog conversation.
So questions about the other person. So FROG is an acronym. You've maybe heard of FORM. You've maybe heard of Ford. But the thing is, nobody wants to talk about dreams, you know. So FROG is, imagine a little frog on their head. That's what I always do, and it makes me smile. Is family. Tell me about your family. Are you from around this area? You know, you have family, that kind of thing. And then the R is recreation. What do you do for fun? What do you do when you're not working? Any great hobbies, any great travel places you've gone to, that kind of thing. And then the O is occupation, which is, you know, what do you do? How long you've been doing it? What got you into it? What do you love the most about it? What's your biggest frustration? What's your ideal client? And then G is always last. And G is important. And G is for goals. Goals. What are your goals? You're just going to simply ask them, what are your goals? And they're either going to give you a family goal, a recreation goal. They might say, I want to golf scratch this year or whatever. Or they could give you an occupation goal, but they're going to give you a goal about what's most important to them. And when you get that goal, you instantly have a target for your generosity. You now know how to help them. You now know how to build the relationship at its best and most important point, right? If you help them achieve a goal, they're going to reciprocate. They're going to help you. So that's it. That's I mean, this is money. Networking is the play. The way I look at it is like Finding Nemo. They get hit by the stingrays, and they get hit by the tentacles of the jellyfish, and they're dying, right? The dad is dying and Dory is dying, and they're saved by these turtles. And one of the turtles is Crush, right? And Crush is a turtle, which is typically slow, but he's barely moving his legs. But you know what? He's going 200 miles an hour underwater. Why? Because he's in the East Australian Current. And the East Australian Current is very little effort, going really fast. That is networking in your city, in your town, is if you'll put a little effort into networking, you will be thrust forward into all these really important, powerful relationships, and you will get more and more referrals. It's the way to do it. Make it happen. I can't wait to talk more about the triangle of trust. This is just one of the strategies that really talks about the triangle of trust and the power of the triangle of trust. So build your tribe of trust with the triangle of trust. Any more questions, Sheri?
Not today.
Is this where I drop the mic? I'm just asking. All right. So I'm not going to drop the mic, but you can drop the mic. Here's the thing. Let me know if you liked this episode. This episode, the 7 steps to connecting with connectors, implementing the triangle of trust. If you like the triangle of trust series, let us know. And you know what? If you let us know, I'll ship you a book. I've got 3 books that I've bought of Brittany Hodak's. I bought another case. Yes, that's me. And I've got 3 books left, Creating Superfans. If you will rate and review this book, and then take a picture of your review and drop it into joingengen.com. Drop it into the Generosity Generation group. Drop the picture in there. Show me, and then I will get your address, and I will send you an autographed copy of Creating Superfans by Brittany Hodak. Remember, that's for the first 3 that will rate it and review it. If you like today's episode, I hope you do that. And we're going to continue this series. We're getting really good feedback on it. I've got like 5 or 6 more strategies under the Triangle of Trust that are really working in today's market. And I can't wait to give them to you. So thank you for that. And last but not least, listen, if you haven't joined our group, join gengen.com right now. And also, listen, we have some great stuff going on in June and July. If you have not signed up for 30 Mornings, go to 30mornings.com right now. If you're worried about your kids getting out of school and your complete day going to chaos, right? If you want to get rid of the mayhem and the ahem, you know what I'm saying, right? Is go sign up for 30 Mornings, 30mornings.com, 30mornings.com. And in June, Event Mastery is back for all your July events, all your ice cream socials. Anybody can have an ice cream social and get referrals. We show you how. I will hold your hand through Event Mastery. Go to eventmastery.com. It starts Tuesday the 6th. I can't wait to do it. I hope you'll check those things out and check Referral Mastery Academy out as well. But for now, Sheri and I are going to say goodbye. And I will tell you that thank you so much for listening to Referrals Podcast. Thank you for being here today. You have made this a very successful podcast, along with Sheri's production and engineering efforts. And we just want to let you know that we really appreciate you. And we'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast. As always, thank you for listening to the Referrals Podcast and reviewing the show on your favorite app. We read every single review, and I know many people read the reviews and in some cases have even referred the people who have done reviews. And I give a shout out occasionally to the ones that I love the most. A very special thank you for sharing the show with other business people, salespeople, including realtors, lenders, warranty reps, title, and honestly, any business that wants and needs referrals, and what business doesn't want repeat business and referral business. Every time you share the show, you're potentially changing someone's life because they can go from pushy salespeople or trying to do business the traditional way to building a business based on love, generosity, and appreciation that floods them with referrals and repeat business. And when they go to bed at night, they can put their head on their pillow and relax because they understand that they can have peace of mind about where their next piece of business comes from. Go to joingengen.com and we'll add you to our private Facebook group. That's joingengen.com, joingengen.com. We'd love to have you. And stay tuned for the next episode of Referrals Podcast.